Hello children. In continuation with the adaptations, we are today we are taking the adaptations in the adaptation in animals for the food. Okay, so we will see adaptation for food in animals. We can see we can categorize animals and herbivores and carnivores. Okay, you know what is the meaning of the word herbivores? Herbivores means the animals those eating what herbs, otherwise plant products for eating. Those are called as herbivores. Next, carnivores. Carnivores means those animals eating flesh of other animals are called as carnivores. Special adaptations are seen each category to make the process of feeding easy. Okay. For example, herbivores. If you take the example herbivorous animals, then these animals have adapted. Suppose we are taking example of the animals. So their carnivorous animals are there. Their canines are very powerful, strong, and it is pointed. For what purpose? To tear the body of an animal. Okay. And in herbivorous animals, what happens? Their teeth are strong for chewing the food. Okay. If we take the example of the birds, then the carnivorous birds like vulture, they have the strong and pointed beak for tearing the flesh of the or body of the animal, and herbivorous inside these animals are the beak. It is what provided for the to pick the seeds for that purpose. Special adaptations are seen in each category to make the process of feeding easy. Due to these adaptations, what happens? The feeding becomes easy. We will discuss this in a greater detail in chapter which that is a nutrition inside. We will see this. Watch the program on the channels like National Geography World. I think all of you interested in this. All the students from our class, they are interested to watch this type of channels, because I means whenever I am speaking with you at that time I understood that you peoples are just telling about it like Man in a Wild and all that serials you are looking on that. So Geographic Wild, National Geographic Wild, after the Discovery Channel, you just see in that they are showing the information of the different animals and the birds to learn about the leading habits, feeding habits of animals like frog, snake, birds, mosquitoes and butterfly. Okay, if you just see the frog what it is done, it has a very long tongue and it is joined, how our tongue is means joined to the backside of our mouth, but the tongue of this frog is attached to the below the front side, it is attached and it is folded inside, and whenever the prey comes, otherwise any house fly or anything will come on the way, then what happens, it just throw away his teeth and that prey gets stuck to it and he is swallowing. Snake what it is done, it is directly swallow the animal or prey. Birds what they are doing, they are picking the insects, otherwise the seeds from the ground, and what happens, they are eating. Mosquitoes they are eating the juicy part, means for example blood from our body, otherwise male mosquitoes are there, what they are doing, they are eating they are sucking the watery substance from the plant and animal body. Butterfly, they have proboscis. Mosquitoes also have the proboscis and the butterflies also have the proboscis. So butterflies have the proboscis, they are sucking the nectar from the flower, and there what happens, it feed upon it. And for that purpose, in frog, snake, birds, mosquito, butterflies, in these animals inside, what happens, there is a adaptations are there for the food purpose. Okay, if you see this picture, you will understand that. See here, I will just make it zoom it. So if you see, this frog is there, who is eating, this frog is getting eaten by who, snake. So snake what it is doing, whole this frog is there, he is swallowing as it is. When this frog enter inside the stomach of this snake, the secretions which are very powerful, what happens, it melts the body of frog. How, what we are doing, whenever we are eating, we are chewing, first of all we are taking a small bite of a food, then we are keeping in our mouth, we are chewing. At that time what happens, it becomes a morsel, it is a soft morsel, same time the saliva get mixes into it, then what happens, it enters our engulf it. Okay, but this snake directly it eats the frog, and due to this what happens, the this body of this frog get what, because of strong secretions inside the stomach, what happens, the frog's body get melted and afterwards get digestion process completed. If we see this animal, its beak is very strong. If you see the beak, it is very strong and its use is for pick the insect, otherwise to means break the wood and all, from that way it is taking the insect. Okay, now if you see the example of the mosquitoes, otherwise butterfly, it has a proboscis. So due to this proboscis what happens, see this part is called as a proboscis. What happens, the nectar from the flower, the juicy substance from the flower, it sucks, and what happens, it is using for its food, using it as a food. Now we will complete the chart. So what is the chart inside shown? Adaptations. First, sharp teeth. Sharp teeth. Which animals have the sharp teeth? Lion and the tiger. You know that what is the food of this lion and tiger? The food of this animal is the flesh or the other herbivorous animals they are eating. Herbivorous, otherwise other animal they are eating. And for that purpose what happens, to tear the body of these animals, they have a very sharp teeth. Okay, and the use of adaptation is to tear the flesh. Okay, now next it is a long and pointed beak. Long and pointed beak. If you see the carnivorous birds have this long and pointed beak, like vulture and all. Okay, and due to this what happens, they can tear the flesh of the other birds. Next it is short beak, like sparrow. Our sparrow is there, its sticks are very its beak is short. For what purpose it is there? To pick the seeds. Okay, to pick the seeds, otherwise to pick the bird, small insect from the ground. For that purpose it is developed. Next it is a long and sticky tongue. Just now I told you that whose tongue is very long and sticky, that just now I told you that it's a frog. And for what purpose? That it what happens, when it throw is stuck, long also and sticky also, throw it outside, the prey get stuck to the tongue. Okay, the prey is stuck to the tongue, like housefly and all. Next it is a long leg. Whose leg is long? For example, we will take the giraffe's example. For what purpose? To eat the leaves and the whatever plant products are there, to upper part of the plant's body. Okay, after this we will see the adaptation for blending with surrounding. We cannot easily spot colorful butterflies. Yes, we can identify if they are sitting in the beautiful flowers. We can't understand that where is flower, where is butterfly sitting. Okay, lizard also you know that, and grasshopper, we can't identify it. They get camouflage, emits grasses, a part of the plant like stem, leaves, flowers, etc. That is because their colors blend with those of their surrounding. Blend with the surrounding means what? Get mixed into the surrounding. Okay, if we wait, I will show you. Now you saw the video. In that video, how the chameleon changing its color, you seen it, and that is the adaptation for these animals for what, protect themselves from the their enemies and to catch the prey. For that purpose, what happens, they are changing their colors, and what happens, this is the adaptation. So change. So here what they told you, we cannot easily spot the colorful butterfly. Just we seen that colorful butterflies, otherwise lizard, grasshopper, they get camouflage, okay, amidst grasses. Amidst grasses means they can hide inside it, the parts of plants like stem, leaves, flowers, and that is because their color blend with those of their surrounding. Changes that take place in the various organs of life process of organism that enable that to live, feed, reproduce, perpetuate themselves and protect themselves from the enemies. Okay, and protect themselves from their enemies. Okay, and they, what happens, depending upon the habitat, its geographical conditions are called depending upon the, see here what they told you, depending upon the habitat and its geographical conditions are called as adaptations. Okay, that we see in the adaptations is concerned with the blending with the environment. Okay, now we will see adaptations are not sudden process. It is not a sudden process. I told you that when long years ago, in that time, what happens, the all the grass from the ground level get what, it get dried, and therefore getting the fresh leaves, what happens, the giraffes try to stretch their neck and front legs to get the leaves from the top of the tree, and for that purpose so many years, thousands of years, same situations was there, and in that period of time, what happens, the neck becomes long and the front legs of the giraffe becomes long, and because of it, what happens, we see the body structure of that giraffe. So what they told you here, adaptation not it's sudden process. Today I feel that today I am hungry and I am starting to eat something grass and all, it's not possible. It is a long gradual process. It is a gradual and continuous. It is gradual and continuous process. It is differences in the structure and appearance of the present day in the structure. See, differences in the structure and appearance of present day animals and the animals of thousands of years ago are the adaptations that occur according to the privileged conditions in our duty conserves this diversity. For example, what we are saying, our ancients are monkeys. Okay, how they are walking, they are using, still they are using 4 legs. Okay, and they have a tail. But in the period of evolution, what happens, the human beings, the ancients are our monkeys, but the tail becomes short, and now it is not present in the human body. Brain is developed human beings. Okay, so these adaptations takes place, but it is not takes place within a short term. It is a very long process. It is a gradual and continuous and very long process, and in that period of time, what happens, the human being, what happens, we can see nowadays how it is well developed, and it is using the other animals for his purpose. Now we see the Darwin's theory of evolution. He is a scientist. We will see first of all it's his introduction. Charles Darwin, a biologist, studied numerous types of plants and animals and suggested that only those organisms are likely to survive, which can best adapt themselves to a changing environment. Means what he said, that he is the biologist, means he is doing the study of the living things. Okay, and he studied numerous types of plants. He studied numerous types of plants also, and he studied numerous types of animals also, and suggested that those organisms are likely survive. Which animals are surviving? Those animals are changing themselves as per environment. Those animals changing themselves as per environment, those only can survive. Okay, and this is called as a theory of evolution, and this is called as a theory of evolution or survival of fittest. If you see cat, what it is doing, sometimes cat, otherwise tiger, that is belongs to cat families. Okay, what they are doing, which sometimes they are eating their own newborn new young ones. Why they are eating their new young ones? The reason behind it is that if they have any problem in the body, if they are not changing their places after the birth, they are not opening the eyes in a period of interval, then what happens in a particular period, then what happens, they are eating those new young ones, those are not fit for survive. Okay, and that is why what happens, this is called as a theory of survival of fittest, and this is who told, means fittest will survive is the rule of nature, fittest will survive is the rule of nature. And on it only what happens, this great scientist that is Charles Darwin had studied, in an organism is born with a new beneficial characteristics. If an organism is born with a new beneficial characteristics and able to survive, these changes is preserved in the next generation. Okay, what happens, now we are saying our small what we are saying, brothers and sisters, they are more talented, they are operating mobiles and all in a very fastly, means you people also very easily you can operate this rather than us. Okay, so this character is developed in the next generation. Okay, means how much we are developed, our next generation is more developed than us, and that is called as a survival, means that is the new characters, what happens, born with a new beneficial characteristics is able to survive, and this change is present in the next generation. What they told you, this is present in the next generation. This is called as a Darwin's second principle, and it is called as a natural selection, theory of natural selection. In nature, if we see, the who is stronger, those only get surviving. Who is weaker, what happens, they can die. There are some means they can die. So it is the rule of the nature, that is natural theory of natural selection. Survival of the fittest, means fittest will survive, stronger will survive. It is the nature's rule. Okay, now we will see the next classification of living organism. See here. First of all, why are living things classified? Okay, suppose if we see the millions of the species of plants and animals are present on the environment. Okay, and if we start a study from a small microorganisms to the huge animals, it is difficult to study them. It is difficult to study them. So better than what happens, if we make the group of this and you study it, then what happens, it will be beneficial, and in a short period of time we can study it. Okay, and that's why the classification is more important, and living things are classified. Which are the criteria used for classification of plants and the animals? Okay, so first of all, which plants, for the plants, you know that autotrophs, heterotrophs, and we studied the Whitaker's classifications theory, and in theory about it. And animals inside the small plant and animals inside. First of all, plant inside autotrophs and heterotrophs. Okay, some plants I shown you that they are eating the insects, also insectivorous. So they are unicellular to multicellular, then prokaryotic, eukaryotic, so many things are there. We studied it in the classification of the living organisms. So it is difficult to study, remember all the organisms in the diverse living world at the same time. That is the reason. First question's answer is this: it is difficult to study and remember all the organisms in this diverse living world at the same time. And so who is helpful for this? The classification helps to study them. Okay, different scientists have used different criteria and independently classified plants and animals. The hierarchy is formed in the classification starts from the kingdom Animalia. Okay, so first of all, we will see here the hierarchy of the classification of animals. Okay, so just see here. First of all, it is a hierarchy. Say first they are took here mango, and secondly they took here, which is mango is a plant and human is a animal. So kingdom inside, you know that mango is a plant. So they took it, kingdom inside, they took it into the planty, and humans is animal, so they took into the Animalia. Next phylum Arthropoda. Okay, Anthophyla. Phylum, Anthophyla, and here it is Chordata. So that is Chordata means they have the notochords. Those are called as a. This study is there in future. In next classes, only you just see the how they are classified. Now class inside dicotyledone. If you open the groundnut seeds, if you open it, then you see the two parts are formed. Okay, and this is called as a cotyledons. Some are the monocotyledons like jawar, maize. Okay, and some are the dicotyledons like if you are taking example of any, for example groundnut, if you take soybean, any you take, they have the two cotyledons. Next it is the mammalia. Mammalia inside what happens? We are the mammals, means we are giving birth to the animals. Just here mammals means we are giving birth to the animals and we taking care of it. Next is the order, it is called as Sapindales, and next it is for human, it is primates. Then family inside Anacardiaceae, and next it is Hymenidae. So these are the criteria. It is there for you in study after 11. Okay, genus it is the Mangifera, and here it is Homo, and species is Indica, and for human being it is species is the Sapiens. So human being is called as a Homo sapiens, and you have studied it in the 5th standard in the history or EVS 2 inside. You seen that Homo sapiens how get developed. Okay, now so here where we are, a hierarchy is formed in the classification that starts from kingdom Animalia or kingdom Plantae, and further subgroups are formed depending upon the basic similarities and differences, and this is called as a hierarchy of a classification. This is the definition of hierarchy of classification. So till here all of you study this part, main points note down, and definitions, some hard spellings, its pronunciation, all of you just see and write down the meanings of it by finding it on the or you just find it on the net, otherwise you use your dictionary for that purpose. The remaining part of the lesson we will see tomorrow. Okay.